Hello YouTube, this is Eunice Chan and I'm super glad that you guys are joining me for this discussion around why I stopped being productive or why I stopped pursuing productivity, why I stopped teaching productivity, I stopped helping people to become more productive, and I stopped thinking about it altogether. It's like not a part of my lifestyle anymore. And I want to be sharing some insights, like the things that I've learned and the shifts that I've made so that I could still continue to produce very effectively, but at the same time with a different goal in mind. And so right now, having a lot of fun producing like these YouTube videos. I'm having a lot of fun coaching. I'm having a lot of fun like creating these content. But at the same time, I have like a different pursuit, which is a lot more fulfilling, and I feel like is a more wholesome way to live. So if you like this kind of video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and also give me a big thumbs up to let me know that you are digging this content. So with that said, let's begin. There was a time in my life, I remember, my gosh, like I would never, ever do this again. I was working from like probably 10 to 14 hours a day, and like maybe 14 hours, yes, it was a bit extreme, but it was not like an everyday thing. But I remember like not leaving the office until like 11-ish at night, and I lived an hour away from the office that I worked at. And it was a very unhealthy lifestyle. I remember at that time, I wasn't really thinking about it, but I remember feeling a lot of cramps in my shoulder. I was feeling a lot of stress in my life. Being able to like meditate or like stretch or do yoga for even like 5 minutes was like a luxury for me. And so I remember like feeling just the vitality like draining out of my life. I felt like I was spending my youth to chase for something else. And I wasn't quite sure what that something else was, but I kept feeling this anxiety of like not doing enough, not producing enough. And so I felt like I always needed to do more. And so I've tried all the productivity techniques. I've learned all the things. I've done it, but it hasn't given me a happier life. It hasn't helped me with my social life. It's taken me away from like spending time with family to like doing the things that I actually love, and taking care of my body and eating well. I remember I was eating a lot at my desk. And yeah, like just in general, I was a lot less patient, and my life satisfaction level was like non-existent. But it seems like productivity is like the thing that makes the world go round. It's like so celebrated. It's so glamorized. Like you gotta, like the hustle culture, you've gotta hustle. You've gotta work really hard. You've gotta, you've gotta like grit, like grind through it. We've all got these productivity apps. We've got these habit trackers. Ultimately, there are like different techniques to help us produce faster, just so we can produce even faster, right? And so I'm like thinking to myself, can this really be it? Like, can this really be the answer? Can this really be the meaning to my life? And then what? Like, okay, so yes, I learned to produce really, really fast. And I can crank out a lot of work. And then what? It's like, am I made to be here on this planet to produce fast so that I could produce even faster? Like, I don't really see the point to that. And to be honest, like, I don't want that reality if that was the point. So yes, I get that Like, I've experienced this as well. Doing more is going to give me that rush. Like, when I feel like I've accomplished a lot, like that feeling of accomplishment, it feels so satisfying. It feels so fulfilling. It feels like I really deserve a pat in the back. I really deserve to, feel proud of myself because I made it happen. But the feeling of accomplishment, it never lasts very long. It's like until I look towards the next thing that I need to do, because then I need to produce more stuff, then the accomplishment, the feeling of accomplishment just kind of like flies out the window. Because when I'm looking at the new thing that I need to do, it's like, well, I haven't done it yet. And then when that feeling of accomplishment is gone, then I got to do more stuff to make sure that this feeling of accomplishment comes back so that I can continue to feel proud of myself. So that's not very sustainable, because then I'd always be chasing for that like satisfaction. I'd always be chasing for that sense of accomplishment, which eventually would disappear again until I go after the next thing. So I thought to myself, like, well, if I wasn't chasing for productivity, like if I wasn't making that my goal, does it mean that I sit around and I be lazy and I don't get anything done and nothing ever gets done? Thinking to myself, and it's like, well, that's not true either, because there are times when I'm not trying to get more done and I'm not aiming for that, and I still get a lot done. And as a matter of fact, in those moments, I actually work faster. So here's where I found the shift. I found that when we focus on productivity, the sole purpose is in producing faster work and more work, like with a faster speed. And so it's a paradigm that revolves around a numbers game. And when it's a matter of numbers, I can never seem to win, because there are always bigger numbers. I can always do it faster, right? It's kind of like an unattainable goal, because there's always more. But is my happiness considered? No. And is my satisfaction considered? No. Is quality considered? Nope. Is my relationships, is it considered? No, neither. And what about my well-being? Nope. So by the end of it, like when I'm trying to be productive, I struggle to enjoy my work. I have worse relationships. I'm snapping at people. I am producing like poor quality work. And I've basically produced like mediocre work really, really fast. And so of course, like, it's no wonder that I stop enjoying working. So in my experience, when I produce with a goal of being productive, I always find myself getting stuck, getting frustrated, snapping at people, being less patient, being less caring. And what I find happens all the time is, like, because I'm zeroing in on producing so fast, I tend to miss the cues and ideas and like amazing things that are like just in my peripheral vision, because I'm so single in focused on that one thing, like in just doing things faster, that I find myself missing out on ideas. And I find myself like flying past creativity, like the things that I could, capitalize on, the things that I could just like grab and put into my pocket and I can use it to like produce. I end up missing out on them because I'm like just looking at productivity. But I found that when I'm producing, because the work means so much to me and I'm excited about the work, so then I have this vision of like, oh my gosh, like what I'm going to create, well, how this is going to feel. I'm like really working towards the satisfaction of it. I have like an overflow of creativity and ideas. And I'm like producing because I can't wait to get things out there. It's like merely a way of my self-expression. It's like a whole different experience of creating all together. Just like this video, right? Like I've I've stayed up writing writing the script and idea of this video because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to tell people about my experience. I have to share my insights. And 10 out of 10 times, they are incredible work. They're like the more amazing, like the top tier kind of work that you can produce and create because it's produced with your heart and it's produced with so much fire driving behind it. This is the kind of difference between not letting yourself sleep until 3 in the morning until you have written like another 2 articles and nonstop writing and nonstop creating, even though you're tired, but you've got so many creativity and ideas coming through and you just like need a pen or a pencil to like catch everything because there's so much coming through you. This is the kind of difference that you can actually feel. And for the people who are like experiencing your creativity, they're looking at your stuff, they're looking at the work that you're doing, they can feel it, you know? They'll know when you're actually passionate about your work or if it's done out of like just chasing numbers. If I'm looking at productivity as a goal in itself, quantity becomes a measurement of my success, right? But because there's always more that I can do, the idea of enough is non-existent. If I can only win by doing more and more and more, there's no such thing as enough, right? And so this definition of success, by this definition, I'm setting myself up to lose. So this is how like burnout happens for a lot of people because yes, I'm producing like this much, but my satisfaction level is like this little and I'm like not happy. And so for me to continue to crank out this level of work, working this fast and this level of focus and having like so little emotional reward, that doesn't seem to make the balance. So how do I stop trying to be productive and still get all this work done every single day? Like I'm producing videos every day, I'm writing scripts every day, I'm coaching, I'm helping people, showing up on social media. So like, how do I get all of this done? Now, what I want you to know is that I've changed the measurement of my success. And I'm really focusing on satisfaction and fulfillment right now. That is my measure of success. And so I'm doing things because it lights me up, it excites me, it drives me, I feel so passionate about it. I really care about it. And when I do that, it actually gives me more energy, it gives me more vitality. Yes, I am doing work. Yes, I can be staying up late. Yes, I would be staring at the screen or like my eyes would get tired from reading. But it's like this kind of work gives me so much more and replenishes me instead of like chasing for a number that has no meaning to me. I'm doing the work that actually gives me vitality and energy. If you want to be finding like satisfaction in your life, you have to look for the meaning in your work. This is how I derive the satisfaction from the work that I do. It's like I am personally so connected to my work. Like this work, it's an extension of myself. When your work becomes personally meaningful to you, then it becomes more than just a number. It becomes more than just a task that you have to do, because this work becomes an extension and an expression of you. When you're pouring your heart and your soul into the work, when you really care about the work that you do, like it lights you up so much. It actually makes you want to do more. Like when you find people thanking you and people appreciating you, you take a lot of pride from it because it's a reflection of you. Like the moment you start to see this work more than just work, right? Just a number, but you start to call it my work, my life's work, my purpose, my pursuit, then that's when you take personal ownership over it. That's the switch. Like that's the leap. That's the energetic leap. It's the personal ownership of your work. I've come to realize this because the work that we do becomes who we are. So where we place our attention, how we express our ideas, how we create, right? The quality of our work reflects our values, it reflects our standards, it reflects our beliefs, it reflects what we stand for. So it becomes an extension of us. So this, my friends, is satisfaction, and this is the ultimate goal to pursue when your work becomes a reflection of who you are as a person, from, the quality, from the ideas, from, just your thoughts and your values behind it. When you can personally stand behind the work that you do, your work becomes you. And so work that is done with a full heart is done twice as quickly and double the quality. That's what's going to make your work look so effortless and easy. And that's what's going to make you work so fast. Everyone's going to think like, how in the world does she do it and not get tired? So that's my secret, you guys. That is it for today's video. I hope you genuinely enjoyed it, and tell me in the comments, what does your work personally mean to you? And how does your work reflect your values? And with that said, make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you enjoy this kind of content. And I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao!